Hi everyone, I'm Shumelo Makepula and I am a Mandela Rhodes Scholar, class of 2020, and I'm here with Tariro.
Hi everyone, I'm Tariro Chatiza, also class of 2020, and we're just going to help you out with, because I bet you're very nervous and have lots of questions about the interviewing process, particularly because it's on an online platform. So we're just here to ease all those anxieties and just walk through a couple questions that you might have on mind.
I remember being extremely nervous before my interview, just leading up to the interview. So I would have loved to see a video just like this one, where I hear from previous scholars who've been through the process, and just to help ease my anxiety.
So, but the first question you're asking is, okay, this is on Zoom, but what if I don't have data to be able to go through this final round, this interview? So what do I do? What happens?
Yeah, so that's nothing to stress about at all, because beforehand you'll be provided with some data from MRF to help you conduct the interview, and they'll also help you set up with a dry run and just to make sure your connectivity is all sorted out. So that's nothing that you have to worry about at all.
Yeah, we will be helping you through the process, because maybe for some of you, you haven't had the chance to work through Zoom, so the dry run will help you get familiar with the platform. Another question would be, for the interview, where do I set myself up? Where do I sit? And how do I get myself ready for that interview?
So the MRF space, as I remember it, is a very homely environment, very relaxed. So find a nice relaxed place in your space that you can conduct the interview, that you'll feel very at ease. And MRF will provide you with a nice MRF background to use on your Zoom platform. And so you can also look up tips on how to set up your Zoom background, and I'm pretty sure MRF will also help you with that setup as well.
So just place yourself somewhere where you're comfortable, where you feel very, very relaxed. Another worry is background noise. So how do you reduce that, and what are the tips to ensure that your sound is good and that you're getting the very best out of the situation?
I think, try as much as possible to limit the background noise and find a quiet space. But I know that this is difficult for a lot of people. So if you can't find a quiet place, try as much as possible, I think, to get earphones that have a headphone attached to it. Not a headphone, a microphone attached to it. I know that a lot of iPhones have earphones that have a little microphone piece attached to it. So this will help you with your sound and to make sure that the panelists hear you very clearly. If there is a lot of background noise when maybe the panelists are speaking, you can switch off your microphone at that point, and then when you do need to speak, then switch it back on for that time.
And just another tip, ideally, please use a laptop, because the interface will be much easier to use that way. If you don't have one, you can borrow one, maybe go to an internet cafe,
local library.
Use a laptop for the interview process. So another thing is, what do I wear? How must I look? How do I present myself?
So as Tariro showed you in the previous video, that the way you would have dressed for your headshot would be ideal, because if you were to be doing a face-to-face interview, all of that would have been happening on one day anyway. But be professional, as was shown in the previous video, but also don't be shy to add your own personality to it. Today I am wearing one of my favorite outfits, which is a jumpsuit, but it's a nice plain color, and I've put a nice plain turtleneck underneath it with some nice neutral colors. So my personality is shining through, but it's also very simple and elegant and professional. Don't be afraid to just let your personality shine through.
Just make sure you are dressed in something comfortable, nothing that's restricting or too distracting. Just look professional and be relaxed. So for me, I was very, very stressed out before the interview, because I was like, I've written essays, I've given a CV, it's been 3 rounds, what more, what else, what should I bring to this online interview? What are the panelists looking for?
If you've reached this point in the MRF application process, you look good on paper, and that is exactly why they chose you. But it's not enough to look good on paper. They need to really see the person that you are, your personality. If I think of our class, the 2020 MRF class, when I met them in person, I was like, these people are amazing.
Very amazing.
And I had never seen any of their CVs or anything like that. But I think the idea is to just get who the person is behind the paper, because you might look good on paper, but you might not be that great in person. So that's what they want to see, because at the end of the day, you're going to be collaborating amongst all these other African leaders, and they need to know that you'll be able to interact very well in that space and connect with people. Yeah.
So just be yourself, bring yourself to the table, just lift yourself off the paper. They just want to meet you. They know everything about you. Now they're just waiting to meet you. For me, another question that people ask a lot before interviews is there a formula to it? Is there a special way, one way that I can nail this interview? Do you have any suggestions? Does such a thing exist?
So I remember moments before the MRF interview, we had met previous MRF scholars, and I remember sort of pestering them and asking them, you know, what kind of questions, you know, should I expect?
Should I answer like this?
Yeah. And I was really nervous, and they weren't giving me anything, and they kept telling me, be yourself, be yourself. And I was like,
what is be yourself?
What do you mean by be myself? I am myself, but you like just give me the answers to the questions. But the minute I went into the interview room and I met the panelists and the kinds of questions they asked me, it was so easy for me to answer them because they were personalized and just trying to get to know me. So the best way to answer questions like that is just to be yourself and answer it from, you know, where you're coming from, your background. Really let your values come through, and your beliefs and your ideals, and just let them shine through so that they can get to know the real you.
Yeah, the real you. Just be authentic. There's no right or wrong answer. They just want to see how you think, how you react to situations. So just be very relaxed and just answer very truthfully. So a last question would be, with the platform, with Zoom, it's scary. What if the call drops? What do I do?
Yeah, so don't panic at all if the call drops. Sometimes it happens where you have connectivity issues, and in that case, you can just switch off your camera, and there will be a person on call, part of MRF. You'll have their number, so you can just contact them and let them know what the problem is. Either your call dropped, or the video is a bit blurry, or your internet connection is not happening. And in that case, you just contact them, and then they will sort you out very quickly, and you can jump back onto the call. Just don't panic, stay calm, and get back into the interview as if nothing happened, because you know, it is a very anxious, it can make you very anxious to go through something like that. So just make sure you remain calm, because we understand that these things happen.
Yeah, just be at ease. This whole process is not meant to be scary. You've made it to the final round. They're very excited to meet you. So just bring yourself and try to be as relaxed as possible. So hopefully we've asked some questions that you had on mind and managed to ease some of the worries that you might have.
And just one thing that I'd like to add before we go is make sure you're always looking directly at the camera. So when you are in the interview, just make sure that you pretend that they are in the room with you. And the way to do that is always look directly at the camera when you're speaking to them, so that your personality is still there and they can see that you're really engaged in the interview.
That you're present.
And I think that's it from us, and good luck for your interview.
All the very best.
And I'm sure you will nail it.